Welcome back to Waters Ironworks. It's been a few weeks due to some scheduling conflicts, but we are back and shooting some new videos. First video is a very exciting one for me personally. I got a forge upgrade that I've been working on getting since about March. Due to the pandemic, Chili Forge has been a little backlogged on orders, but I just a couple weeks ago got my brand new Chili Forge right here. This is their oval Cayenne forge. It's a 2-burner forge, and it is a pretty substantial upgrade from the forge that I had before. So I'd like to talk a little bit about why I replaced my old forge with the new one, what I'm hoping to get out of this. And we'll do a little bit of a comparison between the two forges so that you guys can see, you know, hey, our Chili forges, which to be fair are reasonably pricey, are they worth the price? Personally, I certainly think they are. So let's talk about, I mean, obviously, number one is just size difference, right? I've had this forge for 5 or 6 years, using it when I'm out here a fair bit, and it's been an okay forge. The challenges that I've had with it, and you guys have seen some of these in the videos, are one, it is a little on the small side, and two, it has not gotten hot enough for me. So the new Chili Forge that I went with, and they've got 1-burner varieties, they've got a 3-burner variety. I went with their 2-burner oval variety so that I had an extra wide opening here. Hopefully this way, as I'm doing bins and things like that, you know, they'll be able to fit in there and I won't be running into the sides of the forge or having to go over to the coal forge in order to work on something that's oddly shaped. So I'm very excited about that. It does have a really nice pull-out system on both the front and back of the forge. That is something my old forge had as well. These are a little more substantial and sturdy though, which I'm excited about. They also come out quite a ways. So I think that's gonna work out really well for me. Like I said, there's one here on the back. You'll see that there is a fire brick here along the back edge of it. That comes in and out with a little set screw that's on here. So I can keep that in most of the time while I'm working on things, but if I do need to work on something that's going to be passing through that is bigger than this gap, I'm able to pull this brick out and have a nice long forge. I do have, let me pull it out here, a second floor liner in the forge. Right now, I'm probably going to do most of my forging without it, but anytime I do anything with flux, which will just absolutely destroy these, I'm going to pull this out or put this in so that I'm not damaging the main forge floor here. These are ceramic tiles. When I bought this with the forge, it was 65 bucks, so they're not super inexpensive. But you know, you need to keep your forge in good shape. So one of the costs of doing blacksmithing, I'm going to take a look and see if there's somewhere that I can find. These are a little bit cheaper. The burners themselves on this forge are amazing and easy to install. So when you get the forge, your burners, you know, actually, I don't know exactly how they come in the box. I live here in Austin. Chili Forge is located down in San Marcos. So when my forge was ready, I just drove down to Chili Forge and picked it up, and it came pretty well assembled. But I believe when you get these, this whole assembly is put together right here, probably not with the hoses on it. And all you do is take it and drop it in there, and it sits nice and flush. There's no screws or anything that you need to worry about on it. It does have ventilation right here. So depending on what you're doing, you may want more or less oxygen in it. The recommendation from Chili Forge is to start it with 1 inch. If you're at high altitudes or something like that, you can adjust how much air is coming into the forge with these. And that's a really nice feature. So we can open both of those up. And it's pretty different from the forge that I had before, right? If we take a look at this forge, it works on some similar ideas, But the way this forge is designed is you've got a pipe going through right here, and there is just a small hole in the bottom of this pipe, in the middle of the pipe going down, and this is locked in place with some bolts. So all the air is really coming from here as it shoots down in there. You don't have any control over oxygen flow. And it really does not seem to burn as hot as these Diablo burners that Chili Forge puts together. So I've never been able to get my old forge up to forge welding temperature. I think both because some of the burner design, and also if we open this up, and this was a feature I liked a whole lot on this forge. You can take a look in there, you can see it's been used. It needs to be some new insulation and stuff put in, and new factory cement put over it. There's just also not a whole lot of insulation in this forge. Gizmo Forges, when he was making these, he had an option for this style of forge with either 1 inch or 2 inches of insulation. I went with the 1 inch of insulation with the hope that it would give me more space, which it did, right? Like if you take another inch off each side, this starts getting pretty small. And I think I'd have better chances of getting it hotter, faster, maybe getting up to forge welding temperatures if I did that. But I have really now shrunk the area that my material can sit in there. So if you're, a knife maker or something like that, you're not planning on doing a lot of forging not a lot of forge welding, and all your stuff is going to be long and straight. A little forge like this with more insulation in it, I think is probably not a bad option. This was like $600 when I got it from Gizmo. My Chili Forge here is just over 2,000. The stand was another 500. So it's a substantial upgrade. Looking back on it, do I wish I'd bought this originally? Yeah, probably. But I bought my propane forge when I was just getting into blacksmithing, a $600 investment, and something that lasted me probably 5 years is not a bad investment. And there is some value in, getting stuff that is, it's going to do the job. You definitely want that. And there were a couple problems with the Gizmo Forge and that, especially with the forge welding temperatures and just how long stuff took to heat up. But it worked reasonably well, and showed me that this is something I really love, and I'm going to be doing it for a long time. And now the larger investment in a bigger forge, I think, is certainly worth it. So we'll make a project in this real quick, and that'll be in next week's video. Take a look at how it's working. And then I've actually got a coal forge that I'm going to be building as well. So I ordered some parts for that. We'll do a video showing you the difference between kind of the coal forge parts that you can buy versus a pre-assembled one that I'm replacing out at Pioneer Farms with this new forge. So hopefully that was a reasonably interesting video. I feel like I rambled a little bit, but I am very excited about the new forge, and excited to show it off to you guys and see what it can do. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.